영화를 보는 두 시선.
Two cents on film.
Hi everybody,
Hello,
this is Sujin.
and this is Nick.
We love movies.
Oh, we love movies so much. You know, I'm a professional film critic, so.
Okay, me too. I'm a
Oh,
professional.
are you?
Yeah.
And what are your credentials?
Credential?
Credentials.
I'm more knowledgeable than you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about when it comes to
Really?
movies.
Mhm,
Okay, so we're
mhm.
gonna deal with
I
that
guess.
knowledge today.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see. So, before we start, I want our subscribers to give us a recommendation of movies.
And also recommend who's the better reviewer.
Yeah, please. I really want to know.
More
this.
important.
Yeah, I'm dying to know it. Anyway, so yeah, this is make a comment on our podcast.
Yep. And also wanted to just give our subscribers a spoiler warning. There will be spoilers in pretty much every single podcast that we do.
Yeah.
So just warning you now. If you haven't watched The Godfather, probably shouldn't listen to this podcast unless you just don't want to like actually watch it and you just want to hear the review. Then
Well,
yeah,
but there are some people who enjoy spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for example, like me. So
Okay.
if you
If you like spoilers,
if you like spoilers, then you can keep
you will
listening
love
to
this
it.
podcast.
Yeah,
if
you will love because we have
Absolutely.
lots of spoilers.
Basically all of the spoilers.
Yes. So,
Okay. So what are we talking about today?
we're gonna talking about Godfather.
The Godfather.
The Godfather in Korean, Daebu.
Debut?
Yeah,
Really?
big father, like big father.
Big father.
Daebu.
Okay.
So, yeah, what did we start to what made us choose this
Choose this
yeah,
film?
choose this film?
I have always like seen references to this film, and of course, like it's just a really popular film. It's got a lot of praise from a lot of people, and I think a lot of movies have used a lot of the elements of this film in their movies. You know, it was kind of one of the first like mafia movies, I think, that became like successful at least.
Sure, yeah.
And so I thought that it would be an interesting movie to look into. Neither of us had ever seen it,
Sure.
so you know, it just kind of seems like a if you watch movies, like you should probably watch The Godfather. Like that's the impression that I kind of get from people who watch
Yeah.
The Godfather. If you're really
Right.
serious, I guess, about watching movies, The Godfather is kind of like one of the greatest.
Sure.
Like one of the most renowned greatest,
Right.
objectively speaking.
Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty surprised that we haven't watched these movies, even though we are professional movie critics.
Sure, of course. I mean, yeah, I was just saving it, you know, for the review. So
Okay.
this is our initial reactions.
Okay.
You know, it's more authentic that way.
Okay.
Neither of us has seen it until we review it. So
That was a good decision.
yeah.
So like, actually, I just want to give you some short introduction of this movie.
All right.
I'm not sure if you know about this. The director is Francis Ford Coppola.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Coppola?
Coppola.
Yeah, Coppola. And it's super awkward. Can you give me the summary of the story a little bit?
Summary of the story. I would say that there's kind of like three parts to the film, and like the first big chunk, so the whole story is just about a single family, and basically this family is all kind of connected in this like mob, like mafia kind of like there's 5 different families that are in each mafia, and they're basically just like doing deals with the cops, and they're doing deals with people, and then so the story is broken into 3 parts in the film, I would say. The first part is the real Godfather's, the first Godfather, I guess, his daughter's wedding, and it goes through a whole bunch of things in the wedding, and kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film about who's who and introductions. The second part, I would say, kind of is a little bit of a transition, and it kind of almost transitions from going to from kind of like the problems in the film start happening in the second part, and I would say like the main character is a guy named Michael,
Right.
who is basically like the son of the original Godfather. And in the beginning of the film, of course, he is like he's not really at all involved with the mob or the mafia or anything.
Right. It was
And
army.
yeah, he was a part of the army. I think he had just gotten back or something. And then it kind of like transitions in the middle to him almost like making the decision to whether or not he wants to join the mob and mafia or whether he wants to just like basically get out of it. And then, so that's kind of the second part, is that transitionary period for Michael. And then the last period is basically him being introduced as the actual Godfather, and basically how he's going to run it compared to how his dad was running it, I would say. And that's kind of how the movie is structured, like on a basic level. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like Nick already explained very well, but yeah, it's just the storyline is actually, I guess, is pretty simple because this is just typical power game mafia movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, so when this movie first came out, it was really controversial because people say this movie glorified crime. So, but fortunately, the movie was turned out pretty great, so people like it. But I heard that it's still controversial for some people.
Even today?
Yeah, even today because of that. And before this movie, it's gangster movies like all kinds of crime movies described gangsters just like gangster.
Yeah, I bet. And it was probably usually framed as like the main characters were probably like the police or the quote unquote good guys versus the mobsters and the gangsters. Whereas in this film, it seems to be like the protagonist of the story, Michael, is like the gangster. And their family is like the whole protagonist, and they're like almost the good guys of the film versus all the other mob bosses, and even versus the police. And
yeah, even though they're killing people, but this movie described it like they're doing something just for justice.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, after this movie, like I guess it's as everybody knows it, this movie is like a turning point of mafia movie. So yeah,
it could be. Yeah, yeah.
So what is your first impression of this movie?
My first impression was that it was good, I thought. There were good things and bad things. I definitely was interested the whole movie, which was good, even though there were parts that were definitely slower. But I liked the way about how it was kind of unpredictable. I honestly, since I had never seen the movie before, I didn't know exactly how it happened, but I knew there was going to be a lot of death and a lot of killing, but I didn't exactly know who was going to die, and I think they made a really good effort to keep you in suspense about what's going to happen next. Of course, there was predictable moments, like when they showed like the Tom guy, going to the director's house to get the movie for.
Oh yeah.
And
like Johnny.
Yes, for Johnny.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as they showed that horse that he was going to kill that horse.
Oh.
That was pretty obvious. but
Oh, I didn't expect that though.
oh really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
I knew they were gonna do something like
With the horse?
yeah with the horse. Like I knew they were either gonna steal it or
Uh-huh.
they were gonna kill it because
Mm.
to make him basically
Mm.
give Johnny the part. So like
Mm.
in that way it was kind of predictable,
Mm.
but I thought it was very unpredictable and
Mhm.
very suspenseful
Mhm.
when Michael was in the scene where he basically makes the decision to join the mafia. And that was the scene where he decides to kill the head police chief and the other crime boss.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
thought that was I mean I think that was probably my favorite scene in the whole film, just because
I mean the scene where
he goes to the bathroom
bathroom. Yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah,
grabs the
yeah,
gun
yeah.
and then he
One of
basically
the best scenes. Yeah.
yeah. I really liked the suspense
Sure.
and so in that way like yeah it was predictable at moments but like there was a good amount of suspense that kept it interesting for me.
Mm.
What was your first impression?
My first impression is just after what I felt right after watching finishing this movie is, wow. Okay, I'm not sure if this is good. This is a good movie, but it definitely affects lots of mafia movies because it reminds me of various yeah
Elements in other films.
Yeah, other films like even Zootopia, right?
Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia.
You think Zootopia was influenced by The
Yeah.
Godfather?
You know the scene, the mouse.
I haven't seen Zootopia in a long time. I'm sorry.
Okay. Zootopia. I know this is kind of far from the original movie though, but I really want to say this because in the Zootopia there is a mouse who is a godfather who played a godfather, and Judy, the main character, to save his daughter's life. So the godfather wanted Judy to give something. So yeah. Anyway, and in that scene, mouse sit down on the very tiny
chair.
Yeah, leather seats, and yeah, he also had a whiskey, and he also had this very husky voice like Vito Corleone.
Yeah, Vito Corleone.
Corleone or something.
However you say it, Italian.
Yeah, it's Italian. We both are not Italian.
Vito. We'll call him Vito.
Okay. So, anyways, I'm certain that it is inspired by Godfather. That's at least that scene is inspired.
Yeah, probably.
And also, it reminds me of other Korean crime movies. Like, there's a lot of gangster movies in Korea too, and everything just seems like so dignified in. So that's my first impression.
Okay. Can you, by chance, go through maybe the main characters?
Oh, main character. There are 4 or 5 main characters, I guess. Of course, the first one is Vito Corleone.
Well, how about we just call him the Godfather?
Okay, the Godfather.
That's how everybody calls him.
Right, the Godfather. Yeah, and there is Michael, I guess, one of his son, and the Godfather's son, and Sonny, of course, he is also one of
the oldest son of the Godfather.
Yeah, older son. Michael is the youngest one, I guess.
Yeah, right? I think so.
And there is also Connie. Connie is Michael's sister, and also Godfather's daughter. And Solocho.
Solocho?
Yeah, do you know him? Solocho is from the another family. Another family.
Solocho?
Yeah.
How did you write it down?
I write it down in Korean.
Oh.
Solocho. That's what they say. Like Michael killed him in the restaurant.
Oh.
The guy with a police chief.
I thought his name was like Beanie or something like that. And Beanie? I don't know. It was hard to keep track of all their names. There's a lot of different names.
Anyway,
I know who you're talking about. We'll call him Solocho.
Okay.
It's the guy who, Michael basically shoots in the head, not the cop.
Kind of enemy.
Basically the big enemy in the first part of the film.
Yeah. And McCluskey.
McCluskey.
Do you know who he is?
Please describe McCluskey again.
McCluskey is the police chief.
Oh, okay.
And but
You would think so. You think the McCluskey is a main character?
not main character, but they it definitely get involved with the best scene. The best scene in the restaurants. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So he is, like, yeah, he's a side character.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. He's a side characters, and yeah, there are some more side characters like Kay, Michael's girlfriend, and
I would say Kay is more of a main character.
rather than compared to the police chief, she is more
Yeah, more.
yeah, important.
But she is. I think she is actually a main character because she.
Really?
Yeah, because she, even though she isn't shown like that much, she is given enough of kind of like influence over Michael that I think she.
Really?
Yeah, I think that she definitely would constitute being a major character
Okay.
in the film. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it depends on opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have lots of things to say about that.
Okay,
But I will
okay.
keep it for later.
Sure.
And that's it. And one more side character. I just want to. She's very small, but I really want to just mention it because she's one of few female characters in these movies. There is Apollonia.
Apollonia, yeah.
Apollonia, Michael's wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is
First wife.
first wife. Yeah, first wife. Yeah. So these are main or side characters.
Sure.
And yeah, and this movie is based on 1945, even though it's released in 1975, 72. Yeah,
72.
72.
Okay.
So I just
Cool. And so what are good things or bad things for you?
and then first of all, good thing is even though the duration is super long, right? Like 3 hours, almost 3 hours. But I guess it's definitely absorbing the movie.
It's absorbing.
Observing.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I didn't notice that. I mean, I didn't feel very bored.
They did a good job keeping you almost entertained.
Yeah, keep giving me the suspense.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I love that part, and yeah, also, of course, not to mention their acting skills. Like Al Pacino is, he is still famous. Yeah, known as the best actor in the world.
One of those.
One
yes.
of
yeah,
the
sure,
best
sure.
actors.
Yeah, he does a good job.
And also I love this atmosphere of the movie. Like the movie is very dry, very, as I told you, like they're very dignified. But I mean, like it's not really dramatic, even though some dramatic things happened.
Yeah.
They
move on quickly.
Yeah, they didn't really put on very dramatic sounds on the killing parts. Like
the killing kind of just happens, and then the characters are upset about it, but then it's almost just like they make a decision right after, and then they move on.
Yeah.
It's not very dramatic. I agree.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah. No matter what happened. So that was pretty impressive. Also, I really want to mention about their editing skill, of course, because I really prefer the editing skills than the main storyline. Storyline is pretty boring for me. But editing skill, I like the overlap. Yeah, overlap style of the movie. Like, I mean, it shows how time goes by with overlap. Do you remember what was it? After Vito was shot.
Yeah.
Was shot.
Like at the fruit stand.
Yeah, at the first stand, and they just showed how things work after he was shot, like with overlap.
Yeah.
This newspaper.
So the transition style. That's what you liked. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they basically after he was shot, they showed time passing by basically showing the different magazine covers and news articles and stuff like that. I think that they were probably one of the first movies to really do a good job at doing that.
Really? You think so?
Like I think other movies had done it before that, but I think a lot of them really kind of felt like not as good as like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies have
Mhm.
used, I
Mhm.
think, the how they did it
Yeah.
in that one
Yeah. I
in
guess.
future movies. I
Yeah.
think that.
And they use that skill even one more time. Not other than that part, that scene,
Hmm.
like when after Michael killed
Yeah.
the police officer
Yes.
chief.
Yes.
So considering that you divided this movie as three parts,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
guess the two overall parts, it can be the standard of the three parts.
I would
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, I like the style,
Mm.
even though at this in this day, people, I think it's not really trendy now, yeah, anymore, because
Mm.
it's kind of classic things. So
Yeah.
hmm that's what I like, classic things. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the editing skill.
Yep.
Yep, it's it's good to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And bad things?
Bad thing is like, of course, I'm not sure if I can tell this or not, but because it's considering it is based on 1945, but I really hate how it treats this movie describe girls.
Mm.
I mean they are so passive, of course, first
Mm.
of all,
Mm.
and every time girls
Mm.
the atmosphere is not really look very professional, because
Yeah.
babies crying behind,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so hectic, and
Mm.
yeah, but of course there is no expectation on that period,
Mm.
but I didn't like it, and
Sure.
also Coney how Coney deal with the violence from
Yeah. From
her,
her husband.
from her husband.
Sure.
I didn't like it too, and I just and I don't even understand why Apollonia should
Die? No.
see, get off. No.
Oh, take off her
Yeah,
shirt?
tear off her shirt. That's the useless part.
Yeah.
Just
That is because probably back in those days, like
yeah.
they really like yeah, that
Mhm.
was a big thing in
Yeah,
those
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
movies.
yeah.
In a
It's
lot of movies in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
70s and the 80s,
Sure.
they
It's
would
not.
just have those
Yeah.
like extraneous
Yeah, yeah,
scenes
yeah.
to show passion.
They just so that's what I felt like they just use the girl to entertain people. It's because they're
Mm.
totally not related to the main
Mm.
storyline.
Mm.
So it made me feel kind of upset.
Mm.
And oh yeah, and I really have to say the action plot. I mean, when you Sony keep beating Bartolo. I mean,
Ah,
it's Coney's her
yeah,
husband.
yeah.
It was so lame. It was
Really?
yeah. I can
Oh, like the acting was lame.
I mean, no. The acting was pretty good. I
Mm.
mean, but I guess they're. I think they hired the wrong action trainer, because
Ah.
because I could even see the punch in the air.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's what I mean. The acting was lame.
Oh.
That's if the acting was lame,
Mm.
I would think that they didn't act it very well.
Oh.
Like they could have done better at making you believe that he was actually punching him.
Yeah.
I agree.
He didn't punch him, because the
Yeah.
problem is I could see it. Of course, in
Yeah.
a lot of film they use just tricks
Yeah.
when they take the fight scenes, but it
It-
was too lame.
It seems like they
Mm.
literally took one take of that scene and then that
Mm.
was it.
Mm.
Because yeah, you could see definitely that he didn't even really punch him and
Yeah.
that's just
Mm-hmm.
maybe bad editing and also maybe bad
Yeah. Right.
just they should have taken at least one or two more takes, but maybe they didn't have time or maybe they didn't have money.
I still don't feel like to give advice to movie directors in the world. If you wanna take action scenes, you gotta refer to Old Boy.
Old Boy.
Old Boy, the
Hmm.
Korean movie. I mean, what was it? You figured out the English title of the movie, because we already talked about it in your podcast,
Oh, I vaguely remember, but I can't remember now.
but I definitely remember you said it's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
I
Anyways.
can't remember. Anyways,
Anyways, check the Old Boy out.
we should watch that one next.
Sure.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it. And
That's all for the bad things?
bad thing. Yeah, and I don't think this is bad thing or not. One more bad thing I have is
Please indulge me.
like I guess this director purposely did that, but like compared to the plot where Gleone family plan to kill people
Mm.
And other killing scenes are pretty too simple for me. Like
Mm.
when the Tatalia family killed Sony or attacked Beto, the Godfather. It was too simple, and there's no like they. It seems like they didn't even have any plan for it. But think about the restaurant scene. They just they thoroughly planned the planning.
So I think that the reason for that was because I think that that's just kind of how it happens when you're in those mob situations. You think about it, like I actually kind of liked that because you could see that, you know, the whole time the Corleone family is like either planning the next kill or planning exactly what to do. You know, the first thing that they always do is they go to the Godfather. They ask, well, what should we do to the Godfather? The Godfather, he asks for the other people's advice in the family. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of planning and processing. The reason that you don't see the planning and processing is because that stuff is all going on at the same time that the Corleone family is planning and processing. So if you think about it, like I think they did a really good job of showing that, like, it seems like that stuff just happens really quickly, but you have to know that there was probably some reason for the other families to start the planning of killing Sonny. Like maybe months before, if the Corleone family did something that they didn't like, you know. So I thought that like I actually did think about that, and I thought that was pretty interesting that they chose not to show the other families kind of plotting. Like the closest we got to seeing them plot was when Michael, or no, was when Tom, who you forgot to introduce as the main character, by the way.
I forgot it.
Tom Hagen, who's the lawyer and the like
Consigliani
is basically his
advisor in English.
The advisor.
In Italian.
He went to go talk to the after the Godfather was shot. He talked to Salatone. What did you say his name was?
Tatalia family.
Yeah, he talked to them like him explaining out like his reasons for killing. Like that was, I think, the most that we got about an actual plan from another family. So I thought that because they included that scene and because they included like him telling Tom Hagen that you have to pressure Sonny into not causing any more fights or battles or anything. Like I thought that was a good scene to include, and it really, I think, justified all of the reasons why usually it would just randomly happen where, you know, when the Godfather was literally just at the grocery store, two guys just pull up and start shooting at him. Like it doesn't look like in the movie that there was a lot of planning for that, and it just looks kind of totally random. But if you think about it, like probably back in the early, you know, in the 1940s or whatever, when the actual mob, like that's probably exactly what happened. It's just like, you know, people would just run up on people and just gun them down, you know.
Sure.
So in my opinion, I thought that was kind of a good thing. Like it was interesting to me. Maybe not good, but it was just interesting that they specifically chose not to show.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just while listening to your theory, I mean, I think they specifically chose not to show it because maybe to justify the Corleone family's behavior.
Yes, I think so.
So that they describe them Patagonians? The
Patagonians? The Patagonia family?
No, what was the word for good guys in the films? Like
Protagonists?
Protagonists.
The Patagonians.
Yeah, anyway.
Protagonist is what she means.
Like, thank you.
Yeah, it was a good way to show the Corleone family as the protagonist.
Yeah, like they got this attack all of a sudden.
Because it just seems like everyone is plotting against them.
Sure, yeah, okay. I gotta take it out on my bad things list.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
So what about you? What is good?
Oh, good things? Well, like I said, my favorite scene was definitely that scene where
restaurant scenes.
The what?
The restaurant scene?
Yeah, the restaurant scene.
Yeah.
Just because I loved the suspense, especially when he's in the bathroom and like he's looking for the gun and like at first like he can't find
Yeah,
it. Like
right.
like they really I think I mean, especially Al Pacino's acting. I'll bet you that literally all they told Al Pacino to do was to just go in the bathroom, grab the gun, and get ready and come out. But he really, I think, played that scene well because, like, he took a long time in the bathroom.
Yeah, right.
And like, you couldn't even really find the gun at first, and you can kind of see the little panic that he has. And then he finds the gun, and then he goes in the mirror, and he just, like, fixes his hair, like,
Sure,
like
right,
just
right.
taking absolutely
Yeah.
the longest time possible because, you know, after he does that, his life is basically going to be changed forever. So I guess what I mean to say is, of course, the acting by Al Pacino was top notch, I thought, throughout the whole film. And the suspense in the movie were probably my favorite things. Things I didn't like would be probably, I didn't like that they just killed off Apollonia.
Oh.
I didn't like how her car just blows up.
Right.
Like, I still don't even really understand
Me
what
too.
happened. I mean, like, something with the two guards, obviously, because, like, right before she died,
Yeah.
he looks over at the guards, and then the guard's running away. So it's, like, that whole, like, that end, like, I enjoyed everything when he was in Italy. I thought, you know, it was obviously a slower part, but, like, I loved the scene where he finds the girl, sees the girl, and then he has to ask her father. And, like, it seemed like very traditional Italy at the time. And I liked that aspect. But then I just didn't understand why they ended it by just killing her off. Like, it just seemed like they didn't know how to get him back to come back to America.
Maybe just to show how he was in danger.
Maybe.
Michael was in danger.
Yeah.
Just dramatically. Yeah.
I would have rather had her come back to America and be his wife in America rather than have him be with Kay. I don't think they did a good job with Kay. I'm sad because she was one of the few female characters.
Yeah.
But she seemed almost like she definitely influenced Michael, but I don't think that she was convincing in her influence. Because, like, she almost seemed like she was just, like, swayed from one way to another, and they didn't really care about what she actually thought. It was just kind of like whatever Michael wanted, that's what happened to Kay. And I didn't really like that. I felt like, you know, she should have had more say almost. And
yeah,
like I understand the influence that she had on Michael, but I just didn't like that Michael didn't have any influence, or I didn't like that Michael was just dictating everything that she did.
Sure,
it just didn't seem like she really had a voice at all.
That's what I hate about this movie.
Yeah,
it's like, because I think this movie ignores girls' voice.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Including Connie and Apollonia. Even Apollonia has no choice. I mean, maybe she liked Michael too, but it's all that wedding things is this decision. Decided by her father and her father and Michael, basically. So yeah, I didn't like the part too.
Yeah. So that I didn't really like, of course, but like you said, maybe that's just a product of the time, both when the movie came out and the time period that it's set in. Other than that, like, I thought that most of the movie was good. I thought,
Okay, so you'd have, other than that, you'd have
no real bad things that I can think of right now.
Okay. Do you have any questions about this movie?
Yeah, I'm wondering. What do you think is the significance of starting the movie off with the daughter's wedding?
Oh, I haven't thought of it.
Because I think that's probably the longest time in the whole movie that they're in one place at one time. Would you say? Because they're at the wedding for like a good, like I would say 45 minutes of the movie is like at the wedding.
Maybe, you know, just a wedding is like a big party, so it's easy to show the main characters. Like I feel how much the Godfather cared their sons and daughters a lot
Yeah.
during the wedding.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the part of the way to show his character maybe. And yeah, that's my opinion. How
Yeah.
do you think about it?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It was definitely to introduce the characters.
Uh-huh.
I think it was good to get the initial dynamics of, you know, who's who and who has what authority in the family. And yeah, I thought it was interesting that he would have like special meetings with people because, you know, obviously people are going to come to the wedding and like people are going to expect that the Godfather is feeling generous and good on his daughter's wedding. So obviously he's going to probably give more like leeway, like especially to the very first guy, you know.
Sure, yeah.
When he basically said, "Consider it a gift on my daughter's wedding day," stuff. So,
So who's your favorite character in the movie? And the list of favorite too.
My favorite character is probably. I really liked the Godfather. I thought he did the part really well, and then I really liked Michael. Yeah, sadly, my least favorite is probably Kay.
Oh.
Just because I feel like she, yeah, like I said, I feel like she definitely
should have said something more.
Yeah, I don't know. They really made her like with zero confidence in herself. And I didn't like that. Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, I just.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, so I don't think it was her, like the actor's fault.
Yeah.
The actress's fault, and I just think that that's probably what the director wanted.
Also, we don't even know her jobs.
Exactly. Yeah, we know nothing about her.
Yeah.
She just is just kind of like
she just
there, but like, yeah, I don't know. It was just weird. She was just a weird character.
She's just like used as the background of Michael.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, I didn't like it too. Actually, yeah, my favorite character is actually. Oh, of course, the Godfather, because he's reasonable and he like peace. But I just like the personality. But just when it comes to movie character, my favorite, I would say Michael. Maybe it's because he's acting. Al Pacino's acting.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
I mean, like, you know, at the beginning of the movie, he definitely said like, I'm different with others.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it seems like he didn't want to be a part of the family. But you know, do you remember when he proposed? He asked out to Apollonia in Italy.
When
to her father.
To her father,
yeah. He used his family's name like to appeal the father.
Okay, I didn't notice that actually, but yeah.
Yeah, he said, "I am Michael Corleone," and after he said that, the father face changed. I mean, the father face changed.
Yes.
So I hate that character. I mean, the personality. Yeah, but
that almost cockiness.
Yeah, I mean, the way they describe the changes of his personality, I like that part.
Yes. Yeah, it's convincing. Like, Al Pacino does a convincing performance in his transition of his character.
Sure. Yeah.
And he does a good job of that.
Yeah.
Even though you don't like the character he becomes, he did a good job transitioning.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I was also wondering, what do you think the significance is of the Godfather having the voice like that?
After being shot? Or
No.
Just
You know that the actual actor, his name is Marlon Brando. He had to wear a mouth guard in the whole movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's why his voice is like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they purposely made his voice like that.
Why?
Like that like you I mean, you know the voice.
Yeah, I know the voice. Like
I can't.
I can't even mimic it.
I don't even know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I guess now that you know that, what are your initial thoughts on why would they try and like make his voice almost deeper like that?
I wouldn't say it is deeper. It sounds more weak to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But do you think that at the daughter's wedding is it weak?
sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
sort
would
of.
agree.
Okay. And I guess maybe, it's actually the whole movie described this transition of power. So, it's because maybe his voice represent how like he's going down
Mm.
and translates to the Michael's area, the period.
Mm. Mm.
Because what I feel from his voice is definitely weak.
Mm.
And weaker and weaker.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you think about it?
Uh, Sort of similar to you actually. I was just thinking that they, well, I guess even more background
Mm-hmm.
is apparently when Marlon Brando, the actor, was going for the position as he was originally wanted to be the Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, when he did the performance, he put cotton balls in his mouth to try and get that voice too. So I guess even more backstory. The Godfather was originally a novel. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
So, nobody had ever like heard of the Godfather's voice before.
Sure, yeah.
So I wonder like where does Marlon Brando get the idea to put the cotton balls in his mouth? I
Mhm.
think that there was an earlier film of The
Mhm.
Godfather actually before the 1972 one,
Mm.
but I don't know if he had what's it called? I don't know if that Godfather had the low or weak voice, but I think that he definitely did it to be unique.
Mhm.
I think he definitely did it to show, his decline in strength
Yeah.
and power.
Mhm.
And I think that he did it also to try and, I don't know. It almost seemed like he was always out of breath.
Yeah, right.
And to
Oh.
me, it almost seemed like he would ask questions to other people because he like almost wanted to save his own breath. So yeah, in that way, I kind of agree with you in that it was to show his decline in power and to make more sense of Michael's transition into power. I think that like literally all in the voice.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Mm.
And I guess this is a good decision. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
It's a very memorable
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
to.
I didn't really care of that during listening to his voice though. But yeah, thinking back, it was a good way to show the transition and his personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it does get worse throughout the film, I would say. And obviously, it's definitely the worst when at the very end when he's playing with Michael's son, and like I haven't gone back and listened to the beginning when he was talking, but like I could definitely tell his voice was like even weaker at that time after he had like the disease or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
So
totally agree. Yeah, I noticed that.
I thought that was interesting.
At listen too.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Another question.
What?
Oh, so did you call him Salugatoni or
Solocho? Solocho?
I called him I looked it up online. I called him Barzini. That was his last name, was Barzini.
Yeah, Solocho Barzini.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Barzini is the guy who Michael kills in the restaurant, not the cop, but the other guy. I was wondering, what do you think the significance is of Michael and Barzini speaking Italian?
Oh, yeah. We gotta go over it, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe, this like man to man, like Italian to Italian, immigrant to immigrant. Because
because I mean, in that scene, I guess Barzini's thinking that Michael is trying to make a peace deal with him and both families.
So he was
because it was right after Sonny died that they did that, right?
No.
Or no, that was before Sonny died.
Yeah. Just right after the police chief hit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They were at the hospital with his father. Yes. Okay. But what was I gonna say? Oh, did you watch it with English subtitles or Korean subtitles?
I was with both subtitles.
Really?
Yeah, I could do it.
Did it say what they were speaking at that time? Do you remember?
Oh no, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was no subtitles.
Yeah, there was no subtitles. Yeah.
So I also wonder, like, why would they purposefully keep that a secret? Do you think like they're trying to put you in the shoes of the cop in that situation since he can't understand?
Yeah, I guess so. Actually I haven't thought of that, but I think they did it because of that. Yeah.
But I wonder, like, okay, so say it is to try and get in the position of seeing the cop's point of view. Why do we care about the cop's point of view in that situation?
Maybe the movie separates just normal people and mafia. So because they kind of, beautify mafia things.
So it's almost to keep an element of secrecy in the mafia.
Maybe they thought it is worth to at least one time to put us in police's shoes. Does make sense?
What do you mean put in police issues?
The police chief's shoes. Maybe put us.
Maybe, yeah.
At least one time.
Yeah.
As just normal people like the police office.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was just really interested by that one scene, especially because of that part.
I was wondering too.
Yeah, because even when they were in Italy, obviously there was not many parts, at least, where they spoke Italian and didn't show you subtitles. But they definitely specifically chose not to include.
Sure, yeah.
So what do you think they were talking about?
We were talking about?
What do you think they were talking about in the restaurant?
Well, maybe just basically to make a deal to, peaceful way.
Yeah.
For Solo Cho.
Yeah.
Yeah, just simple things, but I don't think, I think it, Michael was just saying anything he just came up with because he was busy thinking about the
gun
motor.
shooting.
Shooting.
Yeah, I think you could definitely tell in his face, even at the table, he was like thinking about it.
Yeah.
It really actually reminded me of the scene where in Chiefs of Namsan.
Really? Oh,
when he's going to kill the.
Yeah,
it really reminded me of that scene too. Like especially when Michael sat down and you could just see his face. Like that was the same face that Kay had right before he killed President Park.
I mean Kim.
Kim, sorry, not Kay.
Not Kay.
I don't know where I got Kay. Kim.
Kim. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. I didn't really I couldn't say one point. Because I definitely felt that there is something very similar to the Ship of Namsan during the whole movie, especially the scene too. Yeah.
If you haven't listened to our Chiefs of Namsan podcast, go and give it a listen. This is the one we did last week. Yeah. Good one. Anyways, I have a line.
A line?
That I want you to try and interpret for me.
Okay.
Pretty significant line, I would say.
Can I guess it?
Sure.
Oh, no, sorry. It's gonna be ruining your opinions.
No. Well, okay. It's something the Godfather says right before he dies to his son. Might be the last thing he says to Michael in the movie. I can't remember.
If someone tries to connect you.
Oh, no. Well, we'll talk about that after this.
Right.
Mine was, women and children can be careless, but not men.
Sorry, can you say it one more time?
Women and children can be careless, but not men. He's talking in that same scene. He's talking to Michael.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I wonder your interpretation of that quote. Women and children can be careless, but not men.
Definitely, it's just literally that means. He just literally what he says.
You think?
Literally, just because women at the time, like we have just kind of there is a stereotype of women, and like they're pretty emotional, and so they sometimes make a decision on whim. Yeah, and so it can be considered as a careless. And there's mafia, and we are strong and manly. We have to be cautious, not like women or children. yeah, that's what I'm interpreting. I guess this is literally what just same meaning with.
Okay. I was just thinking it was kind of almost like an allusion to like Sonny dying, because I feel like Sonny was very careless
Yeah.
in what he did, and he
Ah.
died,
Uh-huh.
whereas like everything that Michael did, like kind of throughout the movie, I would say was very like not careless. Everything was with very much intention.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I felt like maybe like I I I took less emphasis on the women and children part
Mm-hmm.
and more emphasis on like other people can be careless but not
No.
men.
Oh.
Like basically
Not
because
you.
yes, who else is there besides women
Yeah.
and children? There's men
Yeah.
technically.
I mean, like, I think he just mentioned specifically Michael. But
Yeah.
other people can be careless, but not. But
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But Michael.
So that's why I was just wondering your opinion on that. But yeah, okay.
That's
No,
nice.
it could also just be taken at face value. I could be just looking too deep into it.
Well, yeah, but interesting point, I guess. Yeah.
But let's go to what you were talking about, the part where.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's pretty obvious, but like, this is the. Oh, was it? I'm gonna give him offer that he can't refuse.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse. That was another quote I have. Yeah, what?
And actually, it wasn't thing I was gonna say right before you said, but the thing was like, what's it? Oh, sorry.
Emoji?
What was it? Like, if someone tries to connect you with, yeah.
He's gonna be the traitor.
Another family, then he's traitor.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say that.
Okay, which one do you want to do first?
First one.
Okay, so my father made him an offer he couldn't refuse, or I'm gonna make him an offer he couldn't refuse. What do you think is meant by that line?
That's just typical. It just shows the typical personality of character of mafia. They're how they deal with crisis.
Yeah. Basically, they're gonna kill him.
Yeah, kill him, and they didn't specifically mention to kill people, to keep people. So they just said kind of apology. I would say. Apology doesn't make sense. Analogy.
Yeah.
They just use analogy. And it's also kind of part of the movie, like because the movie shows them dignified.
Shows them dignified.
Justifying and dignified. Dignity. Oh, 맞아. Dignified in the dignified way. Does it make sense? So
yeah,
to make it think like they're just kind of, they look like elegant. Not
elegant.
Yeah, elegant. Yeah, because they're not saying specifically to kill them. Because if they say that, if they said that, then it looks more like
almost like
ignorant, unprofessional,
just for a mafia,
just a normal gangster, like to kill anybody.
Make him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah, and the line is definitely significant during the whole movie. I'm pretty certain about my theory on the line because the line showed up 3 times, at least 3 times.
Yes,
3 times. So it should be at the part of mafia's personality. So yeah, I'm certain of my theory.
I believe you.
My opinion, yeah.
I agree with you. My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse. It's pretty cut and dry. Obviously, he just wants to basically do anything you can to either threaten killing him or kill the horse.
Sure.
An offer he can't refuse. My next question is, what do you think the significance is of first the title of the movie and like why does there need to be a godfather in the film? Like what is the significance of being a godfather in the film?
Being as godfather or
why is so obviously the godfather is a real godfather to Johnny Fontaine.
Johnny Fontaine.
Johnny Fontaine, the singer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
he's a real godfather in that sense. And then at the end of the movie, we can see that Michael is now become a real godfather. Why do they have a godfather, do you think?
Actually, there is a background story on that. When this movie first came out, Mafia didn't want the movie company to mention specifically mafia, the word of mafia. So that's why they use family. That was the first time to use family instead of mafia words. So considering they are old family in the movie, they just use the word to as a respect of chief of mafia. Yeah,
the real mafia.
Yeah, the real mafia. I mean, no, not real mafia.
No.
I mean, considering.
Oh, you're just saying.
I mean, because they're a family, and the chief of family is a father.
Yes.
And and because they just use the word Godfather used as a respect of the chief of family. It means chief of mafia.
But why do you think that? Like, why does the Godfather want everyone to call him the Godfather?
Because
if he actually is a father to people, and
just to to put and empathize that they are all family, we're family, we're all together. So you need to, even though I'm not your father, you gotta keep it in mind to just make a bondage.
Okay,
that's what I think.
Yeah.
Also, like, you mentioned the last scene, so it just reminds me of another background story. I didn't know that the Italian
tradition?
mafia call their boss as Don.
The Don.
Yeah, the Don. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh.
Yeah, I have no idea really where that comes from, but yeah, that's pretty common.
Oh,
this is the boss
really?
of the Don.
So I didn't know that. So I thought, how many names do they have? So,
yeah, there is a lot of nicknames also in the movie, like you said.
Because I thought Vito Corleone, I mean the real Godfather, another name is Don.
Yes.
Because they call him as Don at the
he,
beginning of the movie.
He is the Don.
Yeah, but at the last scene, people called Michael the Don.
Okay.
So yeah, and but after this movie, mafia actually the real mafia also call their boss like Godfather after this movie.
Okay.
Anyway, speaking of the last scene, it's very significant. Like Michael itself, the name itself.
Yeah.
I think it represent of his original character, his original personality, while he was in army, while before he
basically
he killed people.
Yes.
But yeah, so Michael represented the previous his character, and at that scene he turned into the real mafia.
Yeah, he turned into the Don.
Yeah, turned into Don. He lost his own name.
Okay, good. Yeah. Why do you think Michael lies to Kay in the very, very end? Remember, lies about killing Connie's husband. Like, what is the point in lying? If she already kind of like,
I know,
knows the business, and she knows that he's the boss.
Yeah, I found it weird too. Yeah, why? And she also kind of seems like she believes in.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or maybe she was like acting. The character Kay was maybe acting like she believed it, because if she got mad, like, what is she gonna do,
Maybe like, I guess Michael and Vito are similar, but Michael is more cruel than Vito, I mean, the real Godfather, because at least the real Godfather really cares about the family, and everything he does is about for the family. But Michael is kind of more ambitious than the real Godfather, so he's not. In my view, he doesn't really look like a father of the family. just chief. He's not a father. So maybe they just wanted to make us feel the distance, psychological distance between family and his business. I mean, his real family, like Kay and his children and family, and to show him more, to just describe him in more professional way. And also, considering even the editing skill right after Kay walks out,
and then it shows the panning out, and then he closes the door.
And actually, the scene looks like a frame.
Yes, the door frame actually physically frames Michael.
Yeah, frame over. And I was told that kind of editing skill. I mean, if the movie put somebody in the frame using like doors or something, that it means like a kind of isolation towards other characters. So yeah, and there is definitely, so I could feel isolation between Kay and Michael. I mean, distance.
Yes.
Yeah, psychological distance, not physical distance.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Really great interpretation, I think.
I think so. So, how do you think about it? Do you agree with me?
I mean, yeah, I didn't think about it like as I could definitely see the framing in the door. I didn't know about the framing being actual like psychological distance camera work, but I can definitely feel that, of course. I personally don't think that, obviously Michael and Kay really had that much of a relationship in the first place. Maybe, I mean, of course, a lot of time had passed since he came back from Italy, and then of course they had a kid and all that stuff. It just doesn't, the movie doesn't put a lot of emphasis, it seems like, on their relationship until that point, which is interesting to me. And maybe, there's, 2 other Godfather films. Maybe in those films it talks more about their relationship, but
right.
I thought it was just, I thought it was interesting how little of a relationship Michael and Kay actually have in the movie, but how like influential it is to Michael's decisions. I really thought that was interesting to me. Because I mean, maybe it's just because he has no other choice, but the first thing he does when he comes back from Italy is go and see Kay. And then basically ask for like somewhat of forgiveness, but not really a forgiveness. It's just kind of like, you have to be with me. Like,
yeah, maybe it's because he wants to have son as his second.
Well, sure, yeah. I think he does.
And
definitely.
Kay might be the easiest way to get son.
That literally probably is
for him.
What the character is thinking. I just thought it was an interesting, weird choice. But I don't know. And do you have any favorite lines?
Favorite lines?
Yep, lines.
I think I have no really
favorite line.
Favorite lines. Yeah, that's specific.
You want to know my favorite line? I think it's probably the most like, how do I say it? The most like used lines in other films, and this scene is definitely used in a lot of other films and like TV shows even, and you'll know it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
You don't offer friendship. I'll try and impersonate. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather. You came into my house on the day of my daughter is to be married, and you asked me to do murder for money. Don Vito Corleone, the Godfather.
Why do you like it?
I like that scene because it's the very first scene in the movie, and it really sets the tone for the idea of like what the Godfather thinks of as important. He obviously doesn't want to kill anyone. That's not his goal in the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
He obviously cares much more about relationships than he does about like getting money, or he does about murdering people, or and I mean, obviously you can tell when he calls the meeting of all of the families that his intention and goal in the whole thing is not for really power, or is not for money.
Yeah.
It's seriously just so everybody can get along.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's interesting because in most mafia movies, even like, even after that movie was made, I think that the head boss usually of the mafia is like a bad guy usually.
Yeah, like very cold-hearted.
Yeah, cold-hearted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is very, and of course, like I think Michael is the same way at the end. He's very cold-hearted.
Yeah,
like
right.
you were saying.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a really good way to set the tone very early. I mean, I think that that's like that is the first scene,
Makes
right?
sense. Yeah, right.
So I thought that that was really interesting that they literally led with this guy basically asking to murder someone, the crematorium guy, and then he's just basically like, oh, you know, you don't offer friendship, you don't even think to call me the Godfather, you know, you come into my house, like it almost seems like that guy is almost attacking the Godfather for like the amount of disrespect that he's caused. The Godfather cares about respect, he cares about his family, and he cares about relationships. He doesn't care about making money. He doesn't care about murdering people, getting revenge.
Yeah. And in case like he seems like he just the mafia things are like just part of his job.
Yes.
Like any other jobs.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He almost very much separates family from business.
Yeah, because he doesn't even talk about business at the table on the table. In dinner, like.
Yes. And I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's totally right. And maybe that's why I think that Don Vito is my favorite character. Yeah. And now, like, just thinking about it right now, I think that he definitely is a better character than Michael because of those reasons. Even though I think Al Pacino plays Michael, like, almost better. Like, he's a better actor than Marlon Brando. But I like the character of The Godfather more than I like Michael.
Yeah, okay. And then the line definitely shows very well his character. His warm-hearted character.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think that that's probably my favorite line in the whole film, honestly. And it's just like, I've seen that line in so many different movies and TV shows and like comics and whatever. Like,
really?
But it's never had the kind of same reference that it has in that film. Like, usually it's just, they put the line in the films, like in the other whatever TV shows or movies, just to make the reference of The Godfather. But it doesn't seem like they ever actually use the reference the way that it seems like it was intended. Because usually it's like, I'm thinking of a couple TV shows where the character will just like kind of say it offhandedly, you know, but they don't actually mean it because the character doesn't embody that kind of relationship with people. But throughout the entire movie, The Godfather has that kind of relationship with people. You know, he doesn't want to talk business at the table. He very much separates family from business.
Yeah.
You know, he was the one who came up with the idea of going to all the mob bosses and making peace, like immediately as soon as Sonny died.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Sonny died, his first thought wasn't revenge. It was, all right, we got to stop this. Like, I don't want any more of my family to die. And so I thought he was a very powerful character because of that.
Yeah.
Like, powerful as in, like, influential.
He doesn't really look like both. He's like more likely leader.
More like a dad.
Dad.
Father.
Yeah. But in his career, he's not really.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
A leader.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yep. Good.
That's a good line.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. To you, I guess. I mean, a lot of Americans like this movie, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
So I mean, not only just Americans, a lot of people around the world like this movie. So I think there must be something to appeal to people in this movie. So and I wondered, was wondering the kind of message of this movie. I guess every movie has certain messages. So, what do you think of the message of this movie?
I would hope that the message would be that, like, it seems like protecting family and the idea of family, and there's a lot of problems in family, but you can overcome almost any difficulties as a family together. I think even though Michael is cold-hearted in the end, I think he does care for the family, the Corleone family, maybe not his immediate family. I think he cares for his family more than anything else. So I would say if there is a message in the film, to me, the most prominent message is the idea of family and protecting your family at all costs. Yeah.
Makes sense. All cost.
And I think it also could be like interpreted as like there are different ways of people who protect their family. You know, like Don Vito tries to protect his family in different ways that Sonny or that Michael or you know.
Right.
There are violent ways to protect your family, and then there are non-violent ways to protect your family. And there are, there's many ways.
Yeah, there are many ways.
But I think that the core message is just, family over everything. That's my...
I guess that makes sense.
What were you thinking was the overall message?
I mean, even though I think every movie has messages, I didn't really find messages through this movie. Like, I guess like, this is simple. I think the director simply shows the power game of mafia. I still think like that. But if I have to think about it, I mean, I thought about the reason why people are crazy about this movie. It's it is filmed in America, and while watching the movie, at some point I could pretty relate to the Italian mafia as immigrant. I mean, I'm not an immigrant of United States, but like foreigner.
Yeah.
If I've been there, yeah. So maybe America consists of a lot of people from a lot of countries. So it is like my literally united country, So there must be a lot of immigrants in the U.S. and that maybe that part's kind of a lot of immigrants in U.S. could relate to their success on totally, it's not their country, it's not their home ground. But even though they may succeed and they just built their own
life, family, everything
very well, and maybe and they could relate to them. Or also, at the scene, like the police chief said, like to Michael, you Italian people like curse to, it's like look down on Italian people, right?
Yeah.
I just thought about the reason why people craze about it, and I guess the reason why Americans like it, maybe it's because there are a lot of immigrants who can relate to the mafia, Italian mafia.
Sure. Yeah, I think it does say a lot about being an immigrant in America.
Yeah.
The movie has a lot to say on that subject, definitely.
So, that's that was my point.
Sure.
Long story short.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
Okay.
So, is there anything to say?
I don't think so. I think that we covered the movie pretty well. We did pretty much everything I wanted to cover.
Have anything to say to our subscribers?
Please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Hit the bell as well.
Okay.
And we will see you all possibly next week. Not sure what movie we're doing yet, but we'll keep you informed. Okay.
And also, I would say Godfather is also a Christmas movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it technically is.
Yeah, Christmas is coming. So
Christmas is coming.
If you really want to feel Christmas's mood, then
watch The Godfather. It's so Christmassy.
So Christmassy.
I don't even know. There's like one Christmas scene, maybe. Like, I think it was around when the father was shot, wasn't it?
No, yeah. But during the second part, the whole season is Christmas season.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so have a jolly Christmas season.
Have quite a jolly Christmas season. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
And, of course, Happy New Year.
So soon.
Well, you always say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, okay. Anyway, happy December.
Happy, happy non-denominational September.
Okay.
December. You know, next week is actually Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, what's Hanukkah?
You don't know Hanukkah? Oh
Hanukkah?
no, all the Jewish people are gonna cry when they hear this.
I'm sorry, I'm Korean, I'm not Jewish.
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 It's the 7 days of Hanukkah. You know, they light each candle. You know, have you ever seen a candelabra? No, it's not a candelabra.
Candelabra?
It's the 7. It looks like this, and it's a candle.
I know.
And there's one in the middle.
Yeah, the one from The Beauty and the Beast. Be my guest.
Yeah, yeah. Don't.
Candle. Right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
let's just end this now,
we
please.
ruined the ending.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.